March 1st, 1945. Dawn breaks cold and gray over the Moselle River Valley, western Germany. Mud-churned roads stretch east. Sherman tanks of the 10th Armored Division, 3rd U.S. Army, growl forward in long columns, their exhaust plumes hanging heavy in the frost-laden air. Tracks clatter against frozen earth. Infantrymen of the 76th Infantry Division ride atop the hulls, helmets low, rifles clutched tight against the chill. Ahead looms Trier, the oldest city in Germany. Its black Roman gate, the Porta Nigra, stands defiant after 2,000 years, now scarred by war. You can almost taste the tension. German defenders are supposed to be dug in deep, machine gun nests in ancient ruins, artillery zeroed on every approach. Intelligence says it will take 4 full divisions to crack this nut, but the lead elements are already probing the outskirts. Engines roar. A sudden burst of small arms fire echoes from the riverbank. Then silence. Resistance crumbles faster than anyone expected. Scattered Wehrmacht troops throw down their weapons, hands raised, faces hollow with exhaustion. By nightfall on March 1st, American boots echo through cobblestone streets that once heard Roman legions. The ancient amphitheater, the imperial baths, now shelters for fleeing civilians and surrendering soldiers. In a forward command post just outside the city, radio sets crackle. A message arrives from Supreme Headquarters Allied Expeditionary Force, SHEF. General Eisenhower's order: bypass Trier, conserve strength. The city is too strongly held, but the order is already too late. March 2nd, 1945. Morning light filters through shattered stained glass windows of Trier's cathedral. American soldiers move cautiously through narrow alleys, clearing basements, securing bridges. The swastika flag that flew over the Porta Nigra is gone, replaced by the stars and stripes snapping in the cold Rhine wind. In a requisition hotel on the banks of the Moselle, General George S. Patton strides into the map room. His polished helmet gleams. Ivory-handled revolvers at his hips, face weathered, eyes burning with that familiar fire. Aides snap to attention. The room smells of coffee, cigarette smoke, and wet wool. On the table, the decoded message from SEF signed by Eisenhower himself. Bypass Trier. Intelligence estimates for divisions required to reduce fortifications. Conserve forces for main effort eastward. Patton reads it once. Then again, a slow grin spreads across his face. He turns to his chief of staff, Colonel Codman. Codman, he says, voice low and edged with mischief, give me a direct line to SHEF. The radio operator works the dials. Static crackles. Then the connection. Patton leans into the microphone. His words are deliberate, laced with that trademark sarcasm. Have taken Trier with 2 divisions. A pause. Do you want me to give it back? Silence on the other end. Then, far away in France, at Supreme Headquarters, the message reaches Eisenhower's desk. The Supreme Commander reads it. Aides wait, expecting thunder. Instead, Eisenhower leans back. A quiet chuckle escapes. He shakes his head. No reply is sent. No reprimand. Just acceptance. Because Patton has done again, turned caution into conquest. The city is theirs, and the road to the Rhine lies open. But this moment, this single audacious message, reveals more than victory. It exposes a tension between 2 giants of war, one methodical, one unstoppable. And what happens when brilliance defies orders? Deep in the Reichswald forest, SHAF headquarters hums under canvas and camouflage netting. March 2nd, 1945. Afternoon. Typewriters clatter. Radio men hunch over sets. Maps cover every wall. Red arrows pushing inexorably toward the Rhine. General Dwight D. Eisenhower sits at his desk, pipe in hand, brow furrowed. The weight of the Western Front rests on his shoulders. He has just approved the bypass order for Trier. Careful, calculated, designed to save lives and momentum. Then the message arrives. A young aide hands him the flimsy. Have taken Trier with 2 divisions. Do you want me to give it back? Eisenhower stares at the words. For a moment, the room holds its breath. He knows that voice, even through radio static. Patton. Always Patton. Brilliant. Reckless. Infuriating. The Supreme Commander exhales slowly. A smile tugs at the corner of his mouth. He hands the message back. No explosion. No demand for court-martial. Just a quiet, let him keep it. Because Eisenhower understands something profound. Patton is a weapon, sharp, dangerous, uncontrollable. But in this war against a crumbling Reich, that edge is exactly what is needed. You feel it, don't you? The friction between the cautious architect and the charging warrior. One plans a symphony. The other improvises thunder. And yet, they need each other. Without Eisenhower's steady hand, Patton's boldness would burn out. Without Patton's fire, Eisenhower's grand design might move too slowly. Trier falls not just because of tanks and infantry. It falls because two very different men, bound by duty, tolerate each other's genius. But tolerance has limits. Patton has defied orders before. Slapped soldiers. Raced Montgomery. Pushed beyond boundaries. How far can this leash stretch before it snaps? The Rhine is close now. Beyond it, the heart of Germany. And Patton smells blood. March 3rd, 1945. Dawn over Moselle. Trier secure. Bridges intact. Supply trucks rumble through the port of Niagara. Tires grinding on ancient stone. Patton wastes no time. He is already in his jeep, scarf whipping in the wind, barking orders. Push east. Don't stop for anything. The Third Army surges forward like a living thing. Sherman's thunder across open fields. Half-tracks bounce over shell craters. Infantry march with grim purpose. German resistance collapses in pockets. Rear guard actions. Abandoned Panthers on roadsides. White flags from farmhouses. The speed is breathtaking. Patton's doctrine, aggression, mobility, exploitation unleashed. He knows the Reich is cracking. Hitler's orders, fight to the last man. But the men no longer believe. They surrender in droves. Patton drives his commanders mercilessly. Keep moving. If you pause, you die of old age. His staff barely sleeps. Maps updated hourly. Fuel trucks race to keep up. And in the wake of Trier, the legend grows. Soldiers talk about the message. The one that made Eisenhower laugh. It spreads through the ranks like wildfire. Morale soars. Because if old blood and guts can thumb his nose at the top brass and win, then maybe this war really is almost over. But Patton sees farther. The Rhine, Cologne, the Ruhr, Berlin itself. He wants to be first. First across the river. First into the heartland. He knows Montgomery is planning a set-piece crossing in the north. Methodical, massive, deliberate. Patton wants none of that. He wants a prize. Speed. Victory. And he is willing to risk everything to get it. Eisenhower watches from afar. He admires the momentum. But he worries. One mistake. One overreach. And the whole front could stall. Yet he lets the leash slacken. Because right now, Patton is winning. And winning fast. But how long can this fire burn before it consumes even its master? April 1945. The Third Army races across Germany like a storm. Koblenz falls. Mainz. Frankfurt. Patton's tanks cross the Rhine at Oppenheim. Before Montgomery's grand assault in the north. No fanfare. No massive bombardment. Just speed and audacity. The message about Trier has become myth. Soldiers repeat it around campfires. Officers quoted in briefings. It captures everything Patton was. Brilliant, irreverent, unstoppable. He pushes deeper. Into Czechoslovakia. Liberating towns and politicians said, we're not objectives. Always one step ahead. Always pushing the boundary. But the war ends before the leash fully breaks. May 8th, 1945. Victory in Europe. Parades. Cheers. Patton stands tall but restless. The fire still burns. Months later, December 1945. A car accident on a quiet German road. The warrior's life ends not in battle, but in irony. Yet the legend endures. That single message, do you want to give it back? Encapsulates it all. A moment when one man's boldness outran caution. When genius defied the plan. And won. You stand there now, imagining it. The cold March wind over the Moselle. The crackle of the radio. the grin on Patton's face, the quiet chuckle from Eisenhower. Two giants bound by war, one methodical, one a thunderbolt. Together, they broke the Reich. And in that sarcastic line lies the essence of victory, not just strategy, not just strength, but the courage to seize a moment, to take the city, and never, ever give it back.